the locker room.
Ben Obamanu becomes the fourth receiver for Seattle. Another throw, wide open, DJ Hackett couldn't keep his balance, otherwise he would have had a touchdown. And right now, all these different personnel groups and formations have the San Francisco defense with a head spinning around and around.
And Mike, you alluded to it earlier on their first drive of the game, the personnel package and the tempo with which the Seahawks play. People coming in and out of the game. Matt Hasselbeck quickly in and out of the huddle, not giving the defense time to get set and react.
Matt Hasselbeck has thrown 14 times, the most he's thrown in a first quarter in his career. Make it 15. Will Heller again. 3 with Nate Clemens, Marcus Hudson, and Michael Lewis making the stop.
Well, he's waited a long time to throw this much, so I don't think he'll get arm weary. Do you? I don't think we're going to have to go for the left-hander out of the pen. I think Hasselbeck is going to be able to throw it, what would you say, Jaws, 40 times tonight?
At this rate, it's going to be 50.
50 times tonight. I thought this was a team that was drifting. From the Super Bowl 2 years ago to 9-7 to 4-4 now, a team that was utterly mediocre, and they have been anything but. But remember, the team opposite them is 2-6.
Tom Ashworth is coming in offensive lineman. He's an eligible receiver close to you. Hasselbeck throws for Hackett, incomplete. No flag on the bumping and banging with Nate Clemens, and a field goal attempt will come.
Tony, you mentioned this team was kind of going through a rebuilding state, and Tim Ruskell, their president general manager, has really turned over the roster here. I mean, he's done a terrific job, and you look at them on the defensive side, there's 9 defensive starters and 4 offensive starters, changed since 2005, which was a Super Bowl year for the Seattle Seahawks.
An extra point-size field goal for Josh Brown, officially 20 yards. The punter, Ryan Klockemeyer, is the holder. And Brown, very solid bad weather kicker, bangs it through. A field goal results from Patrick Kearney coming around the end and stripping it from Alex Smith.
Yankee fans are like oil and water. Cubs and White Sox fans at the same dinner table? Bad idea. Despite their differences, fans do have one thing in common. Their heroes all wear Majestic Athletic, the official uniform supplier for all 30 Major League Baseball teams. Available now all over Europe at NESN.com.
Back here just along Puget Sound, Quest Field in Seattle, as the Seahawks have jumped out to a 10-0 lead on this cool Monday night, but it is a lot better than the forecast. My goodness, when we woke up, we were starting to pair off 2 by 2. And there were power outages with heavy winds a little bit farther north. They were forecasting 40-50 mile-per-hour wind gusts late afternoon and into the evening, but the rain has tapered off, the wind has calmed down. It's a somewhat comfortable night. Maurice Hicks on the return from the 7. Got a block, has a seam to the outside. Cut it back up, and Hicks, with a nice return, took it out to the 39-yard line before Deion Grant made the tackle. Good field position for an offense that in 6 plays is -3 yards.
After 6 NFL seasons, Steve Smith continues to dominate defenses. In just 14 games, Smith finished the 2006 season ranked 4th in the NFL in receiving yards and 5th in receptions. Number 89 earned his 2nd consecutive Pro Bowl berth and heads into the 2007 season healthy and on a mission. The 5'9" speedster will look to lead the Carolina Panthers to their 3rd playoff appearance in 5 years.
Despite the open design, it gets very loud here. It makes it very difficult on the offense, especially in known throwing situations. But when the Seahawks defense is playing well, they get a lot of sacks. 20 sacks, 14 takeaways in their wins. In their losses, they have barely scratched those two columns. So not only is San Francisco up against it, the atmosphere is not going to help. Smith, usually good on the run, has nobody open. Vernon Davis was covered. He throws it away. Darryl Tapp was chasing. We have a penalty marker down in the secondary, about 20 yards from where Smith was. And we'll check Larry Nemmer's call.
Offensive pass interference, number 46. That's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
On Delaney Walker, who was banged up a couple of plays ago.
Let me go back to that graphic where 20 of the 23 sacks have come in the 4 wins for Seattle. We talked to Holmgren about that the other day, and he said, that's a puzzle to me. We all know if we can do it, good things happen. He said he went to the defensive coordinator, and he said, cut it loose. Don't worry about me. Obviously, he's reading the same charts we are. When they get a lot of sacks, they win. Go after it.
And it's been working. They've had a sack that caused a fumble already this evening.
First and 20. Movement by Vernon Davis, who rocked in his stance. The tight end will pick up a 5-yard flag.
False start, offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
We mentioned the noise in this stadium. That is 61 false starts in the last 20-plus games.
But absolutely no doubt that if you can't hear the snap count, you're trying to look in the ball, and you'll see Vernon Davis here. He had a problem the last series. Late last series, off the ball, missed the block. That was a sack by Patrick Kearney. You had 2 blockers against 2 defenders. Mental mistakes will get you beat. That wasn't a physical error. That was Vernon Davis not knowing who to block.
Another false start.
False start offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
A lot of time they talk about fans in the 12th man. That's 62 false starts, the most by the opponent in any stadium since 2005. And it's the most by 19. And every time there's a false start, they put it up on the board, 62, and the fans cheer louder. That was Patrick Kearney who induced Adam Snyder.
I think we have to remind people it's an open-air stadium. It's not a dome. It's amazingly loud.
First and 30, and the guys are in their stance a little bit long. Frank Gore, gain of 6, Michelle Tafoya.
Well, you guys were talking about the 12th man. Matt Hasselbeck thinks the home field advantage here in Seattle is better than a lot of other places. He said the institution of the 12th man has caught on in such a way he hears school teachers tell their young students, you are the next generation of the 12th man. And when he speaks at schools in town, he says the kids are so loud as though they're practicing. He said we have history and tradition. People here take pride in it, Mike.
Going back to the Kingdome days, Michelle. 2nd and 24. Some time for Smith. Gore releases out of the backfield. His 16th catch of the year goes to the 32. Kevin Bentley, the tackle. Here's Deion Grant to introduce the rest of the Seattle defense.
Seahawks defense, one of the toughest defense in the league, led by Patrick Kearney at one end, Rocker Bernard Stuff in the middle, the all-pro linebacker crew, led by Julian Peterson and Lofa Tatu. Then you go to the hard-hitting secondary in the league, led by Brian Ross, a lockdown corner, Marcus Trufant. Back at you, Mike.
Gotcha, Deion. Deion Grant and Brian Russell both coming in via free agency this year. They need to get to the 49. Inside handoff, Gore. A little bit of room. Nice cut, but a yard shy of the first down. As he was chased down by Josh Wilson. So 4th and 1, the way this thing has been going. We'll see how close it is. That's a full yard. Alex Smith is going to keep him at the line. They want to go quick and try to pick it up. Oh, very interesting here.
Well, the officials are slow placing the ball. That allowed the Seahawks to get organized.
You got it. Timeout, Seattle. Mike Holmgren takes the time to get his defense organized. See what they do on 4th and 1 after this.
As evidenced by his golden smile, Cincinnati's Chad Johnson remains the gold standard among NFL wide receivers. Number 85 matches his off-the-field shenanigans with on-the-field production, notching over 1,000 receiving yards in each of the past 5 seasons. Along with fellow wideout T.J. Houshmandzadeh and quarterback Carson Palmer, the Bengals' passing game should propel them back to the playoffs in 2007.
The greetings are different. The need to feel welcome is the same. You don't just stay here, you belong.
Live NHL continues this Wednesday on NASN. 2 Western Conference giants meet in the Lone Star State as Joe Thornton brings his Sharks to Dallas to face Mike Modano and the Stars. Live NHL, San Jose versus Dallas this Wednesday only on NASN.
Next Monday night, we go to the Rockies, and we'll see Denver off its win at Kansas City, taking on Tennessee. A couple of teams in second place, just a length out of the top spot in their divisions. The Titans and Vince Young, the Broncos and Jay Cutler, 8:30 Eastern next Monday night. Decision changed by Mike Nolan during the timeout, bringing Andy Lee and the punter team back on. Josh, you like the second thought?
Yes, I like the second thought. You know, 4th and 1, very aggressive. Yeah, they gained 29 yards when they're in 1st and 30, but you don't get it, all of a sudden you could fall behind 17-zip real quick.
So Lee will kick it. Burleson calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 6-yard line, long field for Seattle. As we mentioned at the top, very difficult day for Mike Nolan. His dad, Dick, passed away at age 75 yesterday, former player with the Giants, and went to Dallas as a Tom Landry assistant. There's Dick with son Mike, the first X's and O's being passed along generation to generation. Dick was battling prostate cancer, had Alzheimer's the last couple of years. Mike Nolan got the San Francisco 49ers head coaching job exactly 37 years to the day that his dad got the head coaching job in San Francisco in 1968. And just think about how rare. Only 2 other times in North American professional team sports has a father and a son been the head coach for the same team. Of course, you have Bum and Wade Phillips. And then in hockey, the Rangers, Lester Patrick was their coach generations ago as Maurice Morris carries the yard side of the first down. And then not just Lester Patrick's son, but then grandson, Craig Patrick, in a more recent era, was a coach of the Rangers. But it's so incredibly rare. And Mike Nolan found out yesterday, told his team when they arrived back here in Seattle, and we visited with him afterwards. And he was talking football, obviously, but he said he was glad he had the opportunity to say goodbye to his dad, and that meant so much, obviously, to him.
And Mike Dick Nolan, a well-respected man around the National Football League. I had an opportunity to play against those 49er teams in the mid-70s when I was in my formative years in Los Angeles, and no question, Dick Nolan, one of those very respected guys.
Maurice Morris with the carry, Patrick Willis the tackle, 2nd down and about 6 coming up. And you talked about that, Jaws, and Chris Berman said it so well on Countdown before. The Niners were not very good, not a playoff team at all when you go back to 1968 when Dick Nolan takes the team over. And remember, he learned from Tom Landry, who he was in the secondary with the Giants. And what happens? The Niners end up getting to the playoffs, winning divisions. Who do they come up against? The Cowboys. Twice in the NFC Championship game, back-to-back years, they knock them out. Then they lose in the playoffs the following year. But certainly so much of what Dick Nolan was about, in turn, Mike goes back to the great Cowboy teams of Landry. Morris the carry, gain of about 1 yard, and here's Susan.
Well, Mike, before tonight's game, when I suggested to Mike Nolan, people have said he's followed in his dad's legacy, both on and off the field. He said, what a compliment, because my dad was such a people person, and this was surprising. He said, my dad and I talked very little X's and O's. Of course, my dad was an innovator on defense, but he never got into that much. He said, my dad was much more interested in surrounding himself with the right people, and Mike said, he always wanted to look deeper, and more than anything, that's what I learned from him.
And Mike told us yesterday, no thought of not coaching today. It's just the way it should be.
That's how you honor your father. We'll have to do what he does as well.
First quarter over.
As evidenced by his golden smile, Cincinnati's Chad Johnson remains the gold standard among NFL wide receivers. Number 85 matches his off-the-field shenanigans with on-the-field production, notching over 1,000 receiving yards in each of the past 5 seasons. Along with fellow wideout T.J. Houshmandzadeh and quarterback Carson Palmer, the Bengals' passing game should propel them back to the playoffs in 2007.
The greetings are different. The need to feel welcome is the same. You don't just stay here, you belong.
Live NHL continues this Wednesday on NASN. 2 Western Conference giants meet in the Lone Star State as Joe Thornton brings his Sharks to Dallas to face Mike Modano and the Stars. Live NHL, San Jose versus Dallas this Wednesday only on NASN.
For Matt Hasselbeck of the Seattle Seahawks. They threw it 16 of 23 plays, gained 111 yards. The defense forces a turnover that led to a field goal, an opening drive touchdown. In first downs, it is 8-0 Seattle. Where it matters, it's 10-0 Seattle as we begin the second quarter on Monday Night Football with Tony Kornheiser, Ron Jaworski, Michelle Tafoya, and Susie Culver. Mike Tirico, glad you're on board with us from the Great Northwest. Lone back is Leonard Weaver. 3rd and 6. A Hasselbeck throw is caught by Ben Obomanu for the first down. The second-year man out of Auburn snatched it away. Nate Clements thought he jumped the route and had a pick 6.
Nate Clements did a really good job of reading the drop of Matt Hasselbeck. He really drives his ball very well, but just can't get his hands on it. And the reception is made. But boy, when the ball left Matt's hand, I'm sure he was a bit nervous because he saw Nate Clements driving on that one.
Clements, who came over as a free agent from Buffalo, 8-year, $80 million contract, $22 million of that guaranteed. Wide open, Bobby Ingram. The veteran takes it out of bounds, marked out just across midfield. It'll be a gain of 20.
I was going to suggest that for $80 million, they might have thought he would get that pick 6 at that moment.
Matt Hasselbeck in a really good rhythm right now. Perfect throw, good rotation on the ball. Bobby Ingram setting down, does a real nice job of getting out in the flat area. You can see Nate Clements covering deep. Boy, that's that little void between that up linebacker and that deep corner. It's a nice void, and Matt Hasselbeck right now seeing the field very clearly, delivering the football accurately.
2 catches for Ingram, 50 on the season, and Hasselbeck is forced to take another timeout.
You think it's possible that Holmgren's kicking himself for waiting till game 9 to do this?
Yes.
From the people who brought you College Game Day and the worldwide leader in sports comes the biggest thing to hit college football in years, College Football Live. A new way to get your fix every weekday with breaking news, exclusive interviews, and packed full of previews and predictions. Get ahead of the game every weekday with College Football Live on NASN.
XGames.com is the year-round online destination for action sports from around the world. We've got the latest vids, bios, photo galleries, and news 24/7, 365. Moto, BMX, skate, rally, surf, and the exclusive home of the X Games. If it happened in the world of action sports, it'll be on XGames.com. Bookmark it and log on early and often. Anytime, any place. XGames.com.
Hey owners, you know you can get all your American sports fix daily right here on NASN. Europe's channel for North American sports. Join me and this merry band of journalists as we chew up,
David
spit out all the sports news of the day.
Why do you stop
around
cricket
the
matches
horn,
at noon?
exclusively on NASN. Horde!
Cheerio, folks.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Samsung, the official HD TV of the NFL. Toyota, moving forward. Men's Warehouse, you're going to like the way you look. Visit tmw.com for the store nearest you. And the new NFL.com. Vote for your favorite NFL players for the 2008 Pro Bowl online at nfl.com/Pro Bowl.
Spectacular view of the Emerald City on Puget Sound, 113 miles from the Canadian border here in Seattle. The Seahawks called that timeout. That was their last of the first half. Now, I know they're winning 10-0, but what is significant there, Seattle cannot challenge here in the first half. Once we get inside of 2 minutes, it becomes a booth review. So Seattle out of timeouts for the balance of the half. This is 1st and 10 with 3 receivers. And a run for Moreeeee. Just a couple of yards, and Jeff Ulbrich brings him down.
Mike, the one thing I said, Matt, is seeing the field very clearly. Let me give you an example right now. This happens very fast. Play fake. First receiver, not there. Number 2, not there. You'll see him go through his progression quickly. Number 3, not there. He comes backside to the square in, the 4th receiver in his progression. You're able to do that because you have good offensive line protection. But he is really, really reading the coverage well.
That's time. Time to throw and time in this system. That time he has to escape. Uses the pump fake to get toward the sticks right at the first down line. Ulbrich showed him the sideline. Looks like it'll be a first down. SportsCenter 30 at 30. Here's John Anderson.
Thank you, Michael. Vikings running back Adrian Peterson out for Sunday's game with Oakland. Peterson suffered a LCL tear in his right knee. Good news is not a season-ending injury. Doesn't need surgery. Baseball, Rookies of the Year. Red Sox second baseman Dustin Pedroia easily in the AL, finished 10th in batting after a 172 April, and Ryan Braun barely in the NL over Colorado's Troy Tulowitzki. Full sports and after the game. Stay current with ESPN News.
Thank you, John. First down picked up by Hasselbeck on the run, and another Seahawk drive. Moving it at will. Morris. The hole is filled by Michael Lewis, the safety. Gain of a couple of yards. Lewis, who was with Philadelphia for 5 years, lost his starting job in '06. The former Pro Bowler was part of a season, Tony, where San Francisco spent some cash to try to bolster the defense.
They spent like they were the New York Yankees. They brought in Clemens. They brought in Lewis, as you said. They traded for Darrell Jackson at wide receiver. They traded up to get 2 first-round draft picks. Mike, they thought they were going to win this division. It is a stunning shock to them that they sit at 2-6 with no answers tonight. None.
Won their first 2, have lost their last 6. Corner blitz, go to the hot guy, Ingram. Made a linebacker miss and picks up a first down. Derek Smith was left out there to cover, out to the 26-yard line.
Mike, you nailed it. The San Francisco 49ers came with their double corner cat. Both corners blitzed. Matt Hasselbeck read it beautifully. There was no panic in his game. It's a beautiful thing that Matt, seeing the field that clearly, you can see it just the last second, the corner blitzing right in Matt's face, didn't faze him at all. Boy, he is razor sharp right now, reading the 49ers coverage schemes.
Saw the numbers go by a moment ago. 12 first downs for Seattle, nothing for San Francisco. Morris through the hole. Out of the arm tackle of Willis. Flag down, he's down at the 12. It's back at the spot that usually means holding offense.
Holding offense, number 62.
Very good, Mike.
10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
It was like ventriloquism on your part at that point. Very good.
Mike's not going to call any more runs now if they're going to hold. He's going to really throw it every down now.
Chris Gray, the veteran, his 15th year in the league, called for the flag.
We see Cole Tolman there. You know, we were practicing on Saturday, but he was angry, wasn't he? Yeah, he was a little ornery. He was getting his team ready.
He anticipated that you were going to question his sincerity in saying early in the week that he was going to the passing game.
Why would he question me?
Leonard Weaver, the fullback, is the lone back. And he sets up the screen. Pass is deflected and almost an opportunity for a turnover. Isaac Sopoaga, the third-year man out of Hawaii, comes up with the deflection. We'll have 2nd and 20. You know, Ron, you said he was angry. I think back to the Pittsburgh game this year. Seattle goes to Pittsburgh, gets shut out 21-0. First time shut out in 115 games. And Mike Holmgren, watching him in the 4th quarter as we all get in the room and watch the games on Sunday, he was ready to blow like Mount Rainier. He was so uptight. He even said he got so angry during the game, he could barely function in the play-calling mode. His offense was so frustrated. Mike wears it on his sleeve, and if you screw up, he's going to let you know right away. 2nd and 20. Hasselbeck hauled in one-handed by Weaver. The fullback is a converted tight end. Gain of a half dozen in front of Marcus Hudson.
I'm going to go on what you said about Holmgren. The losses are killing him. The direct quote about a lot of things is the losses are just so doggone hard. That's a real thing. That was an answer to when you asked him, Mike, because he dropped this bombshell about how our young guard and our young center are going to be really good, probably for the next coach, as if to say, I could be out of here this year. When pressed on it, he said it was the losses that were hard, and he said, we'll see, we'll see. That, to me, is a much bigger bombshell than announcing early you're going to pass the ball.
3rd and 13, Hasselbeck's throw with a flag down is caught by Burleson. Nate Clemens was covering there. Let's check the flag. Clemens was trying to negotiate it on Burleson, but I think it's on the Niners.
Well, Hasselbeck getting all kinds of time in the pocket to survey the field. The 49ers came with the blitz. It was well picked up by the Seattle Seahawks. Matt had all day to find a receiver.
Was it contact? Was he still in the pocket?
Illegal contact. Defense, number 22. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, but it's an automatic first down.
Instead of taking the game, you take that 5-yard flag, which gives you the auto first down.
Let's get back to the notion that that Mike Holmgren, one of the great coaches, certainly a candidate for the Hall of Fame, that he could be leaving at this point.
It was a bombshell at age 60, and Mike, you know, last year he did talk about his frustrations with the losses and getting to the mountaintop and almost winning the Super Bowl the second time around.
Yeah, that last call was kind of a bombshell.
Frustrating.
Come on,
wow.
Let the guys play a little bit. It is football.
Burleson initiated that contact for the most part.
You know, give him a flag. You know, start calling all that stuff. I mean, a flag, football flag.
Play 12 of the drive. Pressure from the Niners. Hasselbeck just burns it, and he had the fullback Weaver right there. Bryant Young, the last link to the Super Bowl championships, and the pushing behind the play with Jeff Ulbrich and Hasselbeck continues with no flag thrown either way.
That was the first pressure generated by the 49ers defense. It was a screen play.
Look at that.
Of course,
Look at you thought he was angry when you talked to him? Try standing in front of him now.
That's how he looked when you walked into practice.
Well, that was at Weaver after the moment there with Hasselbeck. We saw him do that with Jeremy Stevens last year here in Seattle.
No longer here, I believe, Jeremy.
Good point. 2nd and 10. Here is Maurice Morris, tackled by Ulbrich and Willis. He'll have 3rd down coming up.
You know, I believe you'll see more pressure from the 49ers. They're starting to load the box, bring a safety, Michael Lewis, down in the box to defend the run. When you have a Walt Harris, you have a Nate Clemens, guys that you've spent a lot of money for, you're going to have to put them in a position to play man-to-man on the outside and hope they can cover and you can get pressure on Matt Hasselbeck. Because if he gets the time he's getting right now, he's going to light up that 49ers secondary.
This is play 14 of the drive. They had a 13-play touchdown drive earlier. High snap brought in. Hasselbeck is snowed under and brought down by Paris Harrelson out of Tennessee, a linebacker. The linebacker coach here, the great Mike Singletary. And the defense of the Niners finally makes a play tonight.
And you see Hasselbeck in the pocket. Once again, a good cradle to throw from. He's moving around. No one really breaks open on the play. And then you get the sack coming from the outside. Terrific job by Douglas.
Josh Brown will try a
46-yard Mike.
46-yard field goal run.
You got center.
Snap into the body of Plakemeyer. Flag down as that knuckleballing kick goes through. Let's check the flags.
Holding, number 85 with a hook. That's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
That's Will Heller, and that may take them out of field goal range. So this very promising 14-play drive that looked like it was going to end in a field goal. Now a decision here.
Well, they'll have to punt it here.
Yep.
There's no question.
It's not like that one made it with 10 to spare.
Right. Knuckler was a good word. Will Heller, one of the blocking backs in the field goal formation. You know, you got to get that double bump. He didn't get it. Got the big claw on him for the hold. Heller's getting the evil eye right now from the coach. It's not good, Tony, when you get the evil eye of Mike Holmgren.
So now Blankemeyer will try to drop it inside the 10-yard line. Got a bounce and has two friendly faces waiting for him.
Wow.
Boone Stutz, the deep snapper, and Ben Obamanu were there. And by rule, it'll come right to the 1-yard line. 99 yards for the struggling San Francisco offense to go.
Like Tony Sandwich.
Get ready for another thrilling season, packed with hard-hitting NFL action.
These guys look fantastic. I'm so proud.
Join the Reebok Hockey Revolution. Visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
San Francisco offense has gone nowhere, and now they are in the claustrophobic cacophony that is the south end zone at Quest Field. 1st and 10 from the 1. But there was a false start there. Moran Norris with the carry, gains about 2.5 yards. Just some breathing room for Alex Smith in this offense that has done very little. We mentioned no first downs. Each team with 3 drives up until this one starts, and there's the total of the 3 drives.
What was your word, Tony? Inert. All right, I'm writing that one down.
Yeah. It's easy, it's only 2 syllables.
Easy for you to say.
Flag down. Delay.
False start, offense, number 21. Half the distance to the goal. Still 2nd down.
It was Frank Gore, so they get to put up another number as they continue to track the false starts.
Amazing. Just amazing. They are in that closed end zone down there, and it is really rocking.
3 false starts in the game. 63 in the last 2.5 years.
The officials up in the stands, Tony.
Second and 9, Gore. Hits the hole hard, gets out to about the 6 or 7 yard line. You know, Frank Gore's 2006 season was spectacular. Just under 1,700 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns, but a broken right hand slowing him down, and the right ankle injury we talked about. That broken right hand going back to the 05 injury, there was a shoulder. There have been fits and starts in his very brief 3-year career, but going back to his Miami days, came across both ACLs being repaired. He's overcome so much to be a dependable back last year, but this year it's been a struggle with the injuries. He's off the field, 3rd and 4. Direct snap to Arnez Battle, the former Notre Dame quarterback. Nowhere. 3 and out.
Here's the problem. Well, they have all sorts of problems on offense. But if the two guys you count on, Alex Smith, the overall number